Welcome to Marty Time. In this inaugural episode, I'll be taking a look at the FM Towns Marty, a 32-bit CD-ROM based console released exclusively in Japan. I'll also be taking a look at some demo discs and Tatsujin Oh, released in 1992 by Toplin and ported to the FM Towns Marty by Bing. This game was released in the United States arcades as Truxton II. Let's take a look.
Fujitsu is one of the third oldest IT companies in the world. Established in 1935 as a spin-off of Fuji Electric Company, Fujitsu developed Japan's first relay-based computer, the FACOM 100, in 1954. Continuing to innovate, Fujitsu released the company's first microcomputer, the L-Kit 8, in 1981. The next year, the company released the FM8 or Fujitsu Micro 8, one of Japan's first personal computers. In 1989, Fujitsu revealed its new state-of-the-art computer line, the FM Towns series. At this time, Fujitsu adopted the policy of naming its computers after Nobel Prize-winning scientists. The Towns in FM Towns refers to Charles Hard Towns, a physicist whose research in laser technology led to the development of the CD-ROM. Fujitsu dropped the letter E in Towns' last name in order to avoid confusion regarding pronunciation. Rivaling the Sharp X68000, the FM Towns computer boasted a 32-bit Intel CPU and superior audio and multimedia performance. Features such as a built-in CD-ROM drive and GUI or guided user interface represented cutting-edge technology for the time. Outperforming the popular NEC PC98 series in graphics and processing power, the FM Towns carried a higher price tag. Like Apple with the Macintosh, Fujitsu found success in the educational market and high-end consumers. In 1993, Fujitsu released the FM Towns Marty, the world's first 32-bit video game console, predating the Sony PlayStation, Sega Saturn, 3DO Interactive Multiplayer, and Amiga CD32. The name Marty is shared with the console's mascot, a crocodile. At this time, the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis still dominated the video game market. Fujitsu brought home near arcade-perfect ports of games like Truxton II, Image Fight, and Saturday Night Slam Masters, when most people were playing 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog games on the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD, or playing Secret of Mana and Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo. Yet despite all of the state-of-the-art tech, the Marty failed to capture the video game market and is all but a mere footnote in history. Compatible with most of the FM Towns computer library, the Marty can play both CD-based games and properly formatted 3.5 diskettes. Featuring 2 controller ports, AV and S-video output, and compatibility with both mouse and keyboard, the Marty is a stripped-down version of the FM Towns computer. Unfortunately, the Marty is not compatible with RGB or VGA outputs. The Marty is capable of playing Redbook audio with the Ricoh RF5C68 featuring 8 PCM voices and the Yamaha YM2612 featuring 6 FM channels. A headphone port and microphone port on the system provide support for karaoke enthusiasts. The Marty can produce up to 1024 sprites in 16x16 at 640 by 480 resolution, and a color palette of 32,768 colors with a maximum of 256 colors on screen. Fujitsu released 3 variations of the Marty. The first model of the Marty featured an AMD 32-bit 386SX 16 MHz processor and 2 MB of RAM. With a price tag at approximately $700 and games priced in excess of $100, the Marty suffered from expensive custom hardware and high development costs. In 1994, Fujitsu introduced the second model of the Marty, which features a darker gray color scheme, the same 386 processor overclocked to 25 MHz, an optional internet card, and most importantly, a slightly cheaper price tag. The TC Marty is quite rare and includes a printer and PCMCIA 24,000-bit modem in a kit dubbed the Virtual Town TC Station. Finally, Fujitsu 10, a subsidiary of Fujitsu, released the Car Marty. Compatible with a video screen attached to a GPS system, the Car Marty acted as a CD player and could be detached to play games at home like a regular Marty. The FM Towns Marty controller is uniquely shaped but very similar in size and function to the NES gamepad. With two face buttons labeled B and A, the controller features a directional pad, a select button, and a run button rather than a start button like the TurboGrafx-16 controller. Unlike any other controller I own, the Marty controller has a single shoulder button on the right side. This is unused in most games and most software. I discovered that it's used as a zoom for software titles like educational textbooks and adult-oriented hentai games. The cord for the controller is very short at approximately 4 feet and will definitely not reach from your couch to your entertainment center. The software library for the Marty included excellent, near arcade-perfect ports of games like Chase HQ, Western PC games like Loom, educational games for kids, and adult-oriented hentai games. Many of the Western PC games can be played in English, and in a few cases feature enhanced graphics. Fujitsu supported the release of adult-oriented games in an attempt to shed the children's toy image associated with the FM Towns line due to its high acceptance in the educational market. The extraordinarily high price of the system and games, the children's toy image, and the lack of exclusive games proved to be fatal flaws for the Marty. Without any killer apps, the Marty failed to capture the public's attention, leading to the console's failure and the coining of the Japanese video game industry term, Marty's Law. Marty's Law states that if you don't keep offering something to sell, you can't increase sales. Ultimately, Fujitsu discontinued the FM Towns Marty in 1997 and stopped providing support and replacement parts in 1999. While the Marty is now just an obscure video game console for only the most avid collectors, Fujitsu is thriving today as a powerhouse of an IT company. Fujitsu never made another video game console after the Marty, and exited the video game market entirely. Successfully selling business servers, customer service terminals, and IT solutions, the company is the 5th largest IT provider in the world, and is currently researching business artificial intelligence and robotics. I purchased my FM Towns Marty Model 2 on eBay. I later picked up 2 demo discs for the system. Both discs include black and white instruction manuals written entirely in Japanese text with no pictures. The demos feature mostly educational software that falls between boring mundanity and absolute madness. Storytime programs, digitized textbooks, and bizarre design choices abound in this collection. Only one of the 3 discs features actual video games. Rather than describing each piece of software on the demo disc to you in this video, I've decided to tackle these one at a time. At the end of every episode of Marty Time, I will include a demo from one of these 2 demo collections. For the first episode of Marty Time, I chose to take a look at Tatsujin Oh, or Truxton II as it is known in the United States. Released in Japanese arcades in 1992 by legendary game developer Toaplan, Tatsujin Oh is a horizontal scrolling space-themed shoot-'em-up or shmup. The game's prequel, Tatsujin, or Truxton, often enjoys a place on top 10 Sega Genesis/Mega Drive shmup lists. Like the first game, Tatsujin Oh features the same tricolor power-ups and skull-shaped smart bombs. With enemy ships and mechs flooding the screen, Tatsujin Oh is Truxton on steroids. Bing ported Tatsujin Oh to the FM Towns Marty in 1993. The FM Towns Marty port is the only home release for Tatsujin Oh, so you can only play Truxton II on the FM Towns Marty. The game features 2-player co-op, which greatly heightens the experience. My wife graciously agreed to play with me for this game capture. The game features 4 difficulty modes ranging from easy to very hard. Since this is Tatsujin Oh and not Truxton II, the difficulty borders on impossible. When released in American and European markets, Toaplan lowered the difficulty of the game, a common practice for the time. Your spaceship can withstand 1 blast or collision from an enemy ship. On normal difficulty, I struggled to clear the first stage. So I lowered the difficulty to easy and recruited my wife to help me clear 4 out of the 6 stages. We made it to the 5th stage before giving up. By default, you are given 3 lives, but this can be adjusted down to 1 or up to 5 lives. Dying results in your ship being moved to the closest checkpoint and losing all power-ups. After losing all of your lives, you are given the option to continue from the last checkpoint. The continues appear to be unlimited, but we discovered oddly enough that only one player could continue after stage 4. Destroying a particular enemy ship will release a power-up. The S power-up increases your ship's speed. The B power-up gives you an additional smart bomb. You get 3 smart bombs for every life. The smart bomb clears a wide area of enemies directly in front of your ship and causes significant damage to bosses. Weapon power-ups come in the form of a jewel that changes color as it moves around the screen. The red jewel gives you 2 satellite ships or options, with the ability to shoot 2 fiery red shotgun-style medium-range blasts from the sides of the ship, providing greater firepower. The blue jewel gives you 2 options with 2 long-range blue homing lasers that attack enemies across the screen, providing greater accuracy. The green jewel gives you 2 options that fire green bullets directly in front of your ship. Collecting multiple jewels of the same color increases the strength, range, and number of projectiles fired from your ship. With one-hit deaths and a ton of enemies and projectiles filling the screen, this level of firepower is absolutely necessary. Graphically, the game shines with near arcade perfection, only achievable at that time on a 32-bit game console. The game features many artistically impressive and detailed background graphics such as a craterous moon base, a gigantic space station, a fast-scrolling intergalactic highway, and an alien metropolis. Enemy spaceships vary greatly in design and size and feature detailed sprite work. Massive boss characters are composed of multiple components that explode during battle, revealing hidden weapons that change their attacks. The game controls very smoothly with the FM Towns Marty directional pad for moving your ship in the corresponding direction. The B button fires your ship's standard machine gun style projectiles, while the A button fires smart bombs. The shoulder button is unused in the game, as it is for most games for the Marty. Pressing the run button pauses the game. The sound effects are quite satisfying, complete with various explosions and laser blasts. Tatsujin Oh demonstrates the quality of the Marty's Red Book audio CD compatibility. The soundtrack is very 90s, with an electronic synthesizer and rock feel that matches the on-screen carnage. In particular, I found the boss theme to be memorable. While I find the game to be very challenging, it is challenging in a good way. Every time that an enemy fighter blasts me or I collide with an intergalactic crustacean, I know that it's my fault. Playing the game over and over helps you to build the skill necessary to memorize enemy attack patterns and develop strategies for defeating reoccurring foes. Even on the lowest difficulty, with the maximum number of lives, 2 players cannot brute force their way through the game with smart bombs. This is definitely a quarter muncher of an arcade game, but the game's tight controls, colorful graphics, rockin' soundtrack, and sheer fun factor encourage repeat playthroughs. Without a doubt, Tatsujin Oh is one of the best and only exclusive games for the FM Towns Marty. The short lifespan and general obscurity of the Marty means that the game fetches an astronomical price on eBay, often exceeding $500 or even $1,000. Is it worth it? No, of course not. No game is worth that price. I got my copy, emphasis on copy, with the Marty, along with a CD case full of burned games. If you made it this far, thanks for watching my video. I included links to all the sources that I used to research this video in the description. I will be putting out a new episode of Marty Time once per month, along with my regular weekly videos that include unboxing videos, reviews, interviews, and other great content. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe to McGee TV for more great video content. Click the bell at the top to join our notification squad and be the first to know when more great videos come out. Evan and I put out videos weekly. Please check us out at www.mcgeetv.com, on Facebook at McGee Television, on Instagram and Twitter at McGee_TV, and myself at McGee_TV on Twitch, and Evan at XXScissorpXXGaming on Twitch and Twitter. Thanks for tuning in.
まだ全然光のかけらが集まっていないの。早く探してきて。